Hey, Jaret, what's going on?
How's it going?
Hey, pretty good, man. You've got Santoro. I've got Matthew with me. We're on the Stabcast, of course. I have to ask you, what are you doing today on this fine Monday?
Well, I'm actually doing the most un-rockstar-ish thing in the world. I'm at home, and my kids are out of school, and I was actually making the kids clean up for the evening in the backyard whenever you called me the first time.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm basically just repeating myself over and over and over and over again. And do you miss that? So. But yeah, I'm hanging out. I've been home from the UK for about a week, and so getting ready for this U.S. run coming up soon.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I do have to warn you, though, going into this, we're not your typical show. We're going to ask you some hard-hitting questions here, so I hope you can take them.
Some real tough ones.
I already hate you.
Well, you know what? My first hard-hitting question, how was that UK tour?
Dude, man, you're going for the jugular.
I know, right in for the kill.
It was really good, man. It was it's the third time that we've taken the acoustic thing over there, and we've been doing it every spring again for 3 years. And this one was pretty short, actually. We decreased the shows from 14 down to 6, and so I think next year we're going to kind of hit right in the middle at like 10. This one sort of didn't seem long enough for us, so we've got it down, man. It was a lot of fun, and the fans over there have been great to us for years.
Oh, that's cool. So you do have a good fan base over there. It's not like some of these bands that go over there for the first time and like nobody shows up, right? Like you actually have a following over there.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. We when we first started, our very first show over there was at a festival, and we went over there in 2000, and one of the radio shows, the more popular radio shows there, had started playing our cover of Bryan Adams' Summer of '69, and so we played this festival show again as our first sort of intro to the UK, and there were a lot of people there, and we got a lot of good press, and it just sort of snowballed from there. I mean, we went over and supported two bands. No, I guess we went over the next time we headlined, and then we supported one band, and then we've been doing our own thing ever since. So yeah, they've been very, very good to us.
Oh, that's cool. And you know what? I saw a video online. Can you explain this eyebrow incident to me?
Well, it is pretty much what it is. I mean, the eyebrows came up in conversation, and Eric mentioned that he had clippers backstage, and once they come out, there's no going back. So I think the most interesting thing about that, and this is on Bowling for Soup TV, by the way, so if you go to bowlingforsoup.tv, you can see what we're talking about. But that's the kind of stuff that usually happens on the bus at 4 o'clock in the morning or in a hotel room or something like that. It's very seldom that something of that insanity. Somebody shaving their eyebrows.
Right.
Freaking 37-year-old man with no eyebrows walking around now. It's freaking creepy.
Yeah. I think the best part of that too is you nicked him. Like he started to bleed after that. That's kind of.
He was bleeding really bad. Actually, you can't tell from the tape because it's. It's shot from quite far away, but I nicked him right on the eyelid, and boy, eyelids bleed evidently. So it was a gusher. I felt real bad about it.
Oh, now, and that seems kind of like it seems like you guys like to have a lot of fun. Not just from that incident, but like listening to your albums. Is that a fair assumption? You guys actually have fun doing what you do?
Most definitely. I mean, that's the thing is that if we weren't having fun, we wouldn't be doing this anymore. And that is the God's honest truth. We started this thing out, and it was just like, hey, we'll do this. We'll do it when it's not fun anymore. Then we'll stop. And we're still having a good time. We still very much enjoy being around each other, and we're still best friends. And we're still very much on the same page after 18 years. So it's a good time. And the four of us get in a room, it's always the same. So we start acting like we're 14 years old. And, that can be a bad thing. One of us is going to break a hip one of these days.
Well, hopefully no time soon on the breaking a hip, because that may hinder your stage show.
Well,
it hinders a lot of things. But,
I wanted to interject here, just because I haven't said anything in this entire interview. But I'm actually a little nervous here, so calm my nerves, please, Jared.
Okay, yeah, Daddy's got you.
Thank you, thank you. I only really have like one question. Like, I've noticed that you guys like worked with a lot of cool like producers and stuff, like Mitch Allen of SR71 fame.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like being friends with him, or like knowing him? I just gotta know. It's like the worst question.
Mitch Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a regular dude. He actually is, and I think he sort of had a reputation early on for not being the easiest to get along with. And I think they had some inner band turmoil that sort of fueled that. But I will absolutely go on record and say that Mitch Allen is absolutely one of the nicest people in this industry, and is absolutely a total stand-up dude, and he's the real deal, man. I love that guy with all my heart. I'd do anything for him. So he's a good man, and he can sing, and he's real pretty too.
That's pretty awesome. I have to say thank you for keeping that style of music going, because you guys are very similar to what SR-71 did, and I think that's pretty awesome. Not really.
Yeah, I think we actually pretty much sort of came out around the same time. I mean, I remember we were on tour for Let's Do It for Johnny whenever I heard Right Now for the first time, and I remember calling home and telling the wife, man, I just heard this song, it's going to be huge. And I think we used to go out for so long at that time because, you can, airline travel wasn't quite as just cheap and affordable as it is now, and so, we'd be out, we were out, and I remember by the time I got home, it was like the biggest song here. But he is a good lad and super successful at doing what he does now, so more power to him.
So how about we talk about this new album, Fishin For Woos?
Great.
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to ask you something right off the bat about that. It's your first release independently. So what's the big difference between, like the major label release and then this release?
Well, the long and the short of it is that it's your money. So, if we want to do something, putting something out ourselves, if we want to make a video, we got to pay for it, know, and if we want to put out a 7-inch, we got to pay for it, and if, whatever. So, and I mean, it goes right down to everything. I mean, that's for a publicist, and that's for all the promo and all of that. And so, we've always been really super frugal anyway, because we've always been self-supporting. So we never tried to be that band that wasted a lot of the record company's money. I mean, we wasted our fair share, but we were never I wouldn't say that we were the biggest wasters. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing, is that, you're doing it on your own. And I mean, it's nice, because when something is a successful project, as Fishin For Woos has been for us, you look back on it and there's a sense of pride, we did this front to back. It's all us, and our great management, and it's that there's, like I said, there's a huge satisfaction, and we kept pretty much everything in the family. I mean, I produced it with my best friend and writing partner, Alliance of Hollywood, and I directed the video, and I mean, it just we just kind of did literally everything on our own, and couldn't be more proud of how successful it's been for us, over the last almost year that it's been out. But I can't wait to do another one.
There you go, and I look forward to it, because I was listening to this album. Am I reading this correct? You wrote it right after you separated from Jive. You sat down, and it took you about a month to write the album. Is that correct?
Yeah, I wrote it in about 3 weeks, and then we recorded it in about 3 weeks. So that was the window that we had. We had just released our album Sorry For Partying. It had only been out about a month, and when we split with Jive, and so we already had a year's worth of tour dates scheduled, and so there was this window in April, May, and June that was sort of broken up by one little run to the UK and back, and then so the window to write it was there, and I took it, and then the window to record it was there, and I took it, and then we're back out on the road touring for Sorry For Partying, and it not really being public knowledge that we're not on Jive anymore, just everybody just wondering, like, how come nobody's promoting your album? And so it was an interesting time. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a dark time, because we don't really have dark times. It was definitely, sort of felt like the wind was out of our sail a little bit, and we're just anxious to get to the next step, and right. Luckily we kept a positive attitude, and here we are.
Right, and I have to say, because it seems like you said, it was so fast after the other album, so fast after the separation. Maybe I'm thinking a little too much into this, but when I took a first listen to the album, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, is there some stuff written about that separation with Jive in there? Because I kind of felt that, but again, maybe I'm just overthinking it.
There may be a jab or two in there, but nothing really. I wouldn't say that there was anything. I definitely wrote a couple of songs that were more overt in their attack, but I'm more of a high road kind of guy, and for the most part, I felt like that it wasn't coming across as humorous as much as it was just coming off, desperately angry, and so it sort of just didn't fit. Fishin For Woos for me, has a lot of like real songs on it, about real relationships that have existed in and around us and stuff. So I just didn't want to take the cheap shot, but I'm not saying that I won't in the future.
Right? Yeah, I don't know if it's again. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but I think it's fitting that the whole CD starts off with the song that it does, and let's pretend we're not in love. And again, I don't know if this is about the Jive thing, but I think it's fitting that the first track is let's make this interesting and start all over. So. Yeah. Well, that I've actually never been asked that, and thank you for reading that much into it. I mean, maybe that could be where that line came from. I don't really know. I mean, that line really what it means to me. I actually fought for that line because our manager and Linus both just didn't get it. They didn't understand what I was trying to say. And the whole point is that how when you're like gambling with someone or something, and they're like, "Hey, you want to make this interesting? Let's up the odds." That's what I mean by that. Is like in relationships, sometimes you're just like, "Hey, why don't we make this interesting and give it another shot?" kind of thing. Let's roll the dice. And, so that's what I meant by that. Okay, well, I know we do have a couple minutes left. I wanted to talk to you real quick. I think it's interesting that you're working with Disney on a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, mostly just Phineas and Ferb now. We've done a lot of stuff with Nickelodeon and Disney over the years. We worked on Jimmy Neutron, and then we worked on Freaky Friday and Sky High. But yeah, when Phineas and Ferb came up a few years ago, it was just an idea that these two guys, two of the most creative people I've ever met, had, and here they were sitting in this office just developing this show and asked me if I wanted to be involved musically in the theme and then let me read for a part on the show, and since then they've just been amazing. They every time I'm in LA they let me come and write a song for the show and stuff. So that's been really cool, and especially because I have kids and I live in the suburbs, so it's like if you're you're kind of out and about and somebody's like, "What do you do?" and you're like, "Well, I'm a musician," and you can say Bowling for Soup, and they'll go, "Oh, Stacy's mom," and you'll be like, "No, that's not us." And then you sort of follow that up with, "Yeah, well, I also do stuff on this show called Phineas and Ferb," and then it's just like, "Oh, okay, well, you may come in this door now with all of these tattoos on your arms." Nice. And I do have to ask you because I feel that we're friends now, so I can actually finally move into the hard-hitting question. I mean, dude, you're coming over for Christmas, right? Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, just send me your address. I'll definitely make that. Okay. But now, I'm texting it now. Oh, perfect. Now, I wanted to bring this up, though, because there is some criticism out there. It goes hand in hand with your Disney deal. High School Never Ends. I want to say that was completely rewritten for Disney. What do you just have to say to the criticism there that, people felt that you went away from the roots and rewrote a song, kind of like selling out almost? What I haven't really heard that. Do you mean like the song High School Never Ends in general? You mean? No, like they have a Radio Disney cut, and it's like a honestly, no. Okay, yeah. It's a completely different song. I'll go. Yeah, I'll take this. Okay. Yeah, that's good. No, actually, that started super early in our career. You can actually say, really, we were doing that before we had done really well, because we had a song on our album Drunk Enough to Dance called Punk Rock 101. Mm-hmm. And that song did amazing on Radio Disney. And so we sort of knew that was a niche going in to the Hangover You Don't Deserve album, which had 1985 and Almost in Ohio. And I think that album had 5 singles on it. And so that's really when we started doing the thing where we would do a Disney version. And so, I mean, I really wouldn't say, I could see how somebody might have a problem with that and, rewriting your own, censoring yourself, so to speak. But, for me, I think I'm just showing you that I'm smarter than you, because who's still buying music?
Yeah,
kids,
I don't see
kids
anything
in
wrong
country.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
I totally agree with you. If we got the call right now from Disney, this is a whole different show.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, you also have to understand too. I mean, for me as a songwriter, I'm at that time I had a 5-year-old little girl and a 2-year-old little boy and all of their little friends around, and so it was just sort of fresh in my mind of like, hey, I don't want to go and write a Bowling for Soup album that's watered down. I want to go and write Bowling for Soup songs that are still, a little bit dirty from time to time. They're probably offensive to some of my neighbors. But then, there's no reason why you can't have a song that they can play at a freaking birthday party here every once in a while. What's wrong with that?
No, I agree with you. And before we let you go, I do have to say again, the album, I'm sure people can get that on iTunes, all those sites, right? Fishin For Woos?
Of course, yes. I mean, it's available everywhere. It's actually been out for a bit. But yeah, it's up, and you can watch. We have 2 videos out. A video for Saturday that we just made in a garage, and then a video called Turbulence. Kind of a different little voyage video-wise for us, but it was fun doing that as well. But yeah, it's out, and we've actually released some other stuff since then. I mean, as I jokingly said earlier, we've been falsely credited with Fountains of Wayne's song "Stacy's Mom" since that song came out. For some reason, everybody thought we did it. So, we've been friends with those guys for years, and so last year I just decided, if everybody thinks we did it, let's just do it. So we released our version of "Stacy's Mom" last year, and
that's funny.
And we're actually trying to put content out there all the time. So there's always something going on in our world.
Yeah, you guys always have something on. The tour kicks off. Is it the 18th? Your first stop in Kansas?
Yeah, we stop in Lawrence, Kansas on the 18th, and then we're out until May 5th. We end up here in Dallas. So,
perfect.
If anybody up in the Midwest and the Northeast is interested, just go to bowlingforsoup.com. There's dates right there.
Yeah, you know what? I know
we're Philly based. So like when you come to Philly. Do you remember off the top of your head?
What's that?
We're Philly-based, so anybody of our listeners are probably.
Oh yeah, we are coming to Philly, and I should know the date, but I don't.
Well,
I
you
know
can find on the
for a
website,
fact
right?
we are playing.
I don't have the exact date on me, but I do remember you guys have like 3 stops around within an hour from us, so,
right,
we'll actually have to check you out at one of those.
Yeah.
I hope you do. Yeah, it'd be great to see you guys.
Cool.
Yeah, so I wanted to thank you for taking the time out of your day. You can get back to making your kids clean up now.
Child labor.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you guys, and y'all take care, and we'll see you soon.
Yep,
All right,
see you
cool.
then. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, bye.